and welcome back to Aggressively Average, a series where I legitimately try and do things well, but I don't have any talent. Today, I wanted to make a mirror glazed cake because I've been watching a lot of Great British Bake Off and I've never made one. I know they were very trendy a few years ago, but I'm late to the party. Doesn't mean we can't do it now. I also wanted to make it a 3-tier cake, but because there's only 2 people that live in my house, I don't want to make a big one, so I'm going to use these little cake molds and make a little 3-tier. And I'm going to try and tier it with paper plates and straws. I think it'll be fun. Because I really want the focus of this video to be on making the mirror glaze. I've never made a mirror glaze before, and I think it's going to go poorly because it looks quite hard, but I really want to do it. I'm going to make life easier for myself and use box cakes mix. And I also even have box frosting. So I know that that's cheating, but you know, who cares? They are all covered in greaseproof paper. So now I'm just gonna prepare the cake mix. I did buy 2 boxes of cake mix because I'm not certain one is gonna fill all 3. They're both greens lemon, but one is tangy and one is smooth. And I'm gonna add real lemon to them as well to just improve the lemon flavor because I think that will go a long way. This is a beautiful lemon from a real lemon tree and it's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just gonna squeeze in some juice from that lemon. Probably should have zested it first, but I'm just gonna do a bit of zest. Now I'm gonna be honest, that batter could have been a little bit softer because it's a little bit lumpy, but I have been whisking and whisking for 1,000 years, so I'm done. It's gonna be fine. I mean, it's never fine. This is exactly why these never go well. Maybe it'll be okay. These kits are meant for children, aren't they? So maybe it'll be fine. Now, my next question is cooking time, because on the box it says 40 to 45 minutes. But that's when it's all in one 20cm baking tin. Also, glad I did both boxes because it's kind of the perfect amount. Because they're in smaller cake pans, I'm just worried about the different cooking times. So I'm gonna put them in and I think I'll maybe check them after I'll check them after 25 minutes. Now my cakes are nice and baked. And they did cook at different times, but it was all good. So this took 25 minutes, that took 35 minutes, and that took the full 40. But they're all good. I'm gonna let them cool completely before we level them and frost them. The cakes are fully cooled, and now I'm just gonna level off the tops, and then the fun part, which is the assembly and the frosting. Okay, this big one isn't completely cool. It's actually pretty warm when you cut the top off in the middle. Tastes good, tastes really lemony. There's not that much difference between these 2 layers, is there? Jeez, okay. So let's frost and assemble. As I mentioned, I am cheating a bit and I'm using store-bought frosting. A couple of reasons. One, I hate making frosting. I hate it. It's easy, but then it's never right, so it's not easy. I looked into making Swiss buttercream, which I've never made before. I really want to try. But all of the recipes pretty much said don't do it if you don't have a stand mixer. So another reason I should get a very expensive KitchenAid. If there are any brands maybe out there that aren't KitchenAids that are any good, that would be good to know about. I'm putting it all in here and I'm going to whip it because I saw online many moons ago that if you whip this store-bought frosting, it's a lot better, and it makes sense, it would get a lot airier and be a lot nicer to work with. So I'm gonna try it. My lemon again, I'm gonna add some zest. That really made a big difference. That is a lot lighter and fluffier and creamier than it was when it first came out of that. So, if you are using this, whip it in a bowl for a few seconds. Use a bit of the buttercream as a bit of glue. I'm thinking we put just 1 straw in, all the way down the middle, just to give it some stability. Now we have to do a crumb coat. Oh wait, do you usually crumb coat them separately and then you assemble them, don't you? Have I messed this up? I feel like I've got to just carry on. Maybe another 2. That's a crumb coat. I think that's a pretty solid crumb coat, honestly. I don't think that's bad at all. I'm gonna put this in the freezer to set, and then we're gonna do another coat of the icing, put the icing in the fridge. So this has been chilling in the freezer, so it's nice and cold. So now we're gonna do the next layer of icing, which is the final layer of icing. So this has to be really smooth. and good, because this is essentially what our cake is going to look like. Not off to a great start. That's honestly pretty good icing as far as I'm concerned. My question is that still just a crumb coat? Do I have to put more on? I think we can mirror glaze over the top of that. I don't think it's gonna get any better from what I can do. I'm actually, rightly or wrongly, pretty impressed with myself and what I've achieved here today. If you've watched this channel before, I hope you also think that's not that bad. That's not that bad. Okay. Pop this in the freezer, and then we're onto the mirror glaze. Now it's time for the really fun part, which is what we're all here for, which is what I wanted to do all this for, the mirror glaze. And I am gonna take this so seriously. I'm gonna read the instructions, I'm gonna do what it says. I don't have a digital thermometer, but I am going to do my absolute best to do a genuinely good job with this. So, step 1, take 2.5 teaspoons of gelatin in a bowl with a 1/4 cup of water and set aside. Pour 1.5 cups of granulated sugar, 3/4 of a cup of water, and 2/3 a cup of condensed milk. Heat for 90 seconds on high power in the microwave. The sugar is now fully dissolved, and I'm gonna give it a big hit with this immersion blender. Now it says add in the bloomed, oh yeah, oh look at that. It's all like absorbed all of the water. It's all like squishy. Now I have to melt the white chocolate. White chocolate is lovely and melted. So now I can divide this into smaller bowls and add in the colouring. My cake is really, really cold. It's pretty set, the frosting. It's on this board, on a jar, on a baking sheet that I've wrapped up in foil, because I know it's going to get really, really messy, and hopefully that takes the mess. Got nothing to lose at this point, let's just pour it. Also, I totally realised, the reason why people do this with mousse cakes is because then you don't have to frost them. They've already like set in the shape of the mould, and hence why it's gonna go on better on a mousse cake than on this, yeah. You live and you learn. I learned so much by doing all this stuff wrong. It's a little bit Ghostbusters swamp colour, but I mean, I think it's okay. I guess we let that set. Okay, I feel like it was going fine until it kept pouring, so I think it was too thin. Yeah, it just kept pouring. It just kept pouring and running down the cake. I really did follow the instructions. Do you reckon I can pour all that into like a cup and try again? Put it into a cup. I've let it cool down to hopefully solidify a bit more, and we're pouring again. The colours have definitely all mixed into one, but that's not my concern at this point. I mean, that's definitely thicker, isn't it? Hang on. Look, I don't have a thermometer, so maybe it was just too hot when I poured it. That's my ring light. Things have gotten serious. I'm just holding the phone. See, is it just all gonna drop off the cake again? It looks like something out of Ghostbusters. Not sure it looks very like you want to eat it, but that was my poor judgment on the colours. I definitely think the first time I poured it, it was too hot, and it didn't feel warm at all. So yeah, same problem. Just slid right off the cake. The cake was completely cold. I followed the instructions to the T with the mirror glaze, and yeah, did not go well. If you can figure out exactly what I did to make it really, really terrible, please let me know. I think I need more chocolate in there, but I don't have any more chocolate left because I ate it. Instead of keeping it spare, I ate it, so I don't have any chocolate left. Maybe it needs more gelatin? I promise you, I really don't do this on purpose to make it look terrible. I really, really try. Oh, it's so disheartening. Okay, I didn't want to end on a bad note, so I cut off all the edges of the cake, cut them into squares, made up the frosting that came in the bag, and just put them on top. And you know what? Now we've got nice, delicious cake, and I'd love to say I learnt a lesson, but I still don't know what went wrong. So please tell me what went wrong with my mirror glaze, and I'll see you in the next one.